So today we're going to focus on 欲しい wanted. I wrote wanted 書きましたけども欲しがるたがる You might be confused with these different expressions. But okay, when you want to say 欲しい when you want to say I want something, he wants something, they want something. How do we say this? Precisely, fluently. Let's have a look. いきましょう。はい。Right. Well, we start with I want something when the subject is I. You know this Japanese 欲しい. Well, 欲しい in English is to want, but in Japanese it conjugates as e adjective. Let's have a look at this example. I want a new video game. I want a new video game. How do we say this in Japanese? Well, I could think of 4 different ways as you are in Pera Pera class. So you know some variations. You know that there's not only one translation for this sentence. Well, to begin with, I hope you are aware of this video game in Japanese. We don't say video game or anything. When we say game, simply game, like game, that indicates the video games that you play on computer or like PlayStation or Xbox or whatever, like these machines. Not board games, not card games, not the matches like in a sport game or anything. When we say game in katakana, that's a video game usually. So when you want to say I want a new video game, that would be 新しいゲームが欲しいです。新しいゲームが欲しいです as a formal statement, or like as I would call it, like textbook Japanese. It will be 新しいゲームが欲しいです. So here you have to be careful with particle が. 欲しい requires が as the particle. Right. And then more variations. Let's have a look. Natural formal. ゲームが欲しいんですよ. This is something you've learned already. です. So naturally, I think I would say, you know what? I want a new video game. In a formal, a polite way, but very natural way, I would say, 新しいゲームが欲しいんですよ. 欲しいんですよ. Or like 欲しいんです. Or like depending on your mood or whatever. Yo or without yo. 新しいゲームが欲しいんですよ. The same conjugation, it's the same. Casual, how do we say this? 新しいゲームが欲しい without this. And that's it, right? That was very easy, like short form. 欲しい. You might even want to drop が新しいゲーム欲しい. Natural casual. I will say 新しいゲーム欲しいんだよね. Or something like that. So, well, if you could think of these, I think you are very fluent. Well, anyway, so want in Japanese, 欲しい. Particle が and 欲しいです. Or without this. Or です。だよね. Not want. Negative. When you want to say, I don't want that video game. I want a new video game, but I don't want that video game. How do we say this in Japanese? Well, again, I thought of 4 different ways. あのゲームは欲しくないです. Well, first, 欲しい as mentioned, e adjective conjugation. So it will be 欲しくない. 欲しくない plus this. And careful, particle changes. あのゲームは欲しくないです. When you say it as a statement, when you just, say what you want, usually we use が. 新しいゲームが欲しいです. But as a contrast, we use は instead of が. Normally. あのゲームは欲しくないです. Natural formal. あのゲームは欲しくないんですよ. Casual. あのゲーム欲しくない. Natural casual. How do we say this? あのゲーム欲しくないんだよね. Or something like that. But grammatically, 欲しい negative will be 欲しくない。欲しくない。But there's another word actually. いらない。いらない。I would say this is way more often used in the sense of I don't want something, not want something. 欲しくない is a bit direct, like not want. いらない I don't need it. Literally it means not needed, not necessary. あのゲームはいらないです。Well, translation will be I don't want a video game, but the context will be don't need it. No need for that. So I would say it's a bit more milder than I don't want that video game. 欲しくないです。Sounds a bit slightly childish, perhaps. But usually, well, you just know, so you know, we say いらない as well. いらない, not need. いらないです。Or as いりません in mass form as well. In this context, casual, that would be いらない without this. Natural casual, いらないんだよね or something. のゲームいらないんだよね I don't want that video game. But this will be the very matching translation when it's, I don't know, said in the film, movie, or anime, or in the daily conversations. So, just so you know. Well, that was I want something. So, 欲しい basically indicates the subject should be the person, the speaker, him or herself. So when somebody else than you wants something, usually we use 欲しがる. Well, grammatically 欲しがる. 欲しい is that you want something, I want something. 欲しがる indicates somebody else, third person. In formal way, my friend wants a new video game. How do we say this? 欲しがる, that's u verb conjugation. And then 欲しがっています. What was this? What is this? So it's a status, right? It's a status. 欲しがる is something you do in general, like all the time. But it's the status that you or my friend, the friend is in need or in the that he wants it now. He or she wants it now. So as a status, we use ています, ている form. 欲しがる in ている form. て form plus ている. Again, verb conjugation. 友達は新しいゲームを欲しがっています. Again, here, a different particle. が欲しいは欲しくない. But somebody else. And then we use を. So it's a bit tricky. But yeah, it's good to know, to be precise, to be more fluent, right? Formal quote. Well, statement. So this is something else than you. So instead of 友達は新しいゲームを欲しがっています。We usually use this form, like quotation. I heard my friend saying that he or she wants a new video game. Like form. So 友達は新しいゲームが欲しいと言っています。欲しいと言っています。That would be grammatically very natural. Quote. Form it seems, as you have learned, you could also say it seems like my friend seems to want a new video game. That would be my friend wants a new video game in Japanese context. So 友達は新しいゲームが欲しいみたいです。欲しいみたいです。欲しがっています。The first one is more like a statement. But 欲しいみたいです。We just, it seems like he seems to want it. He seems to want a new video game. In Japanese, this will more sound natural. But natural form, formal I hear. 欲しいんだそうです。Again, this. That would be more natural. So I just put this example as well. 友達は新しいゲームが欲しいんだそうです。欲しいんだそうです。This is just to check if you remember casual form of います form. 欲しがっています。欲しがっている。欲しいと言っている。欲しいみたい。欲しいんだって。欲しいんだって。This will be the one I would say. 友達新しいゲーム欲しいんだって to my friends, right? To in the very daily conversations. Right. Not once. Again, in third person. Formal or casual? Formal, I think I spelled it wrong. Formal and casual. Well, let's have a look. Formal statement, 欲しがっていません。欲しがる in て plus でいる form 欲しがっている negative 欲しがっていません。Right? This is more like, as you could see, a textbook Japanese 欲しがっていません。Just a statement. 友達はそのゲームはいらない。I would use this verb or this word いらないと言っています。When I want to mean my friend doesn't want that video game, I would say 友達はそのゲームいらない。そうです。いらないみたいです。いらないと言っています。When I want to be polite or formal. The structure or grammar will be quotation. Well, the most natural way to say my friend doesn't want the video game. Natural casual quote. I would say だって。right? だって。友達そのゲームいらないんだって。That would be natural and informal casual way of saying to your friends. Maybe when we talk about okay, I want the video game, not that one and stuff. This Japanese will be the most natural one. 友達そのゲームいらないんだって。Right. Well, finally, we have just a look at the difference between 欲しがる and たがる. Maybe you might have heard of this. たがる. What is it? It's just to do. So instead of want something, want to do something. And then we use たがる in third, as a third party, like somebody else. My friend wants a new video game. My friend wants to buy a new video game. So wants to, that will be followed by a verb. So the first one, my friend wants a new video game. That will be object plus ga. Basically ga. Depending on the context, it should be wa or wo, but basically ga. Plus hoshi. When you talk about third person, hoshigaru. Tagaru will be applied to verbs. So, my friend wants to buy a new video game. 友達は新しいゲームを買いたがっています。買いたがっています。So here we use たがる。Otherwise, we would just focus on 欲しい、欲しがる、いる、いらない。And you'll be more like naturally fluent. Hopefully, that's it for this time. Thank you for watching. お疲れ様でした。If you want to practice Japanese with us and meet your new classmates, you're more than welcome to join us. おかえりスクール